Hello everyone, welcome back to our next session. This is also about sentence, but it's going to be a very different session. We have already learnt about what a sentence is, the different kinds of sentence, and we have also practiced identifying them through the worksheet. But now, let's stop for a moment and think about one important question. I know many of my friends are already thinking about that. Yes, why are we actually learning all this? Where are we going to use it? Instead of thinking, I'm here to tell you the answer for this. I don't want you to learn this sentence and types just because they are part of your grammar syllabus or because you have to answer them in the question paper during an exam time. The real purpose of learning grammar is to help us understand how an English works and use it correctly. So in this video, we are not going to learn any new definitions or do another set of questions. Instead, let's see where this knowledge of sentence will actually help us in our writing, in our communication, and especially when we move on to some of the higher grammar topics. Once you understand where and why you are going to use something, you don't have to depend on memorizing it. Am I right? So let's look at the practical side of what we have learned about sentences. Are we ready? Yes. So this session is going to be a complete of thinking and analyzing our learning. So the sentence where we use them in our daily life. The real usage comes when students learn. Yes, we learn for the usage purpose. How sentence types affect grammar, transformation, punctuation, and communication. How sentence types affect a grammar, transformation, punctuation, and communication. So this is something very important in our grammar time. So where does it actually becomes very useful? Direct and indirect speech, changing one form of sentence into another, punctuation and writing, understanding the tone of the communication. So first one, direct and indirect speech. If I'm not wrong, most of the school, this topic is being covered in grade 4 and 5. And I heard from many of my friends, it's very difficult topic. And a few of my friends also told they answered them using Inky Pinky Ponky method. So why should we do that? Yes, when the basics are strong, it's easy at any point of time, especially when you go for your higher grades. So when you learn about the kinds of sentences, it helps in your direct and indirect speech. Next one, changing one form of sentence into another. You can change from past tense to present tense, formal communication into informal communication, requesting communication. So everywhere when you change from one form to the another, it's very important, right? The third one is punctuation and writing. Whenever I correct the papers, one common mistakes that I used to find out is starting up with a capital letter in the beginning of a sentence and the punctuations. When a comma is changing its place, I'm saying when a comma is changing its place, the meaning of the sentence itself is changing. I'll make a separate video on that. But when you learn about the sentence, the punctuation and writing can be understood clearly. Understanding the tone of communication. For all the important things, we need to have a Proper tone. The tone of communication mostly comes with the usage of the words that we use. So the tone and the words is very important for the communication. So with this note, let's see how we are going to practically imply this. Yes, direct, indirect speech. This is probably one of the most important practical grammar connections. A child needs to recognize whether the speaker is making a statement, making a question, giving an order or a request, expressing something emotionally because the reporting structure changes. Am I clear? So we have to first understand whether it's a statement or a question, a request form, order, or something very emotional to give a clarity. For example, where are you going? You asked me where I was going. Open the door. He told me to open the door. I'm tired. He said that he was tired. So identifying the kind of sentence becomes useful when students learn reported speech. Changing one form of sentence into another. In higher classes, students often ask to transform sentences without changing their meaning. That's a very difficult task, isn't it? For example, he is a very intelligent boy. What an intelligent boy he is. Or, you should help the poor. Help the poor. To do these transformations correctly, students need to understand what the original sentence is doing and what form they are changing into. Third one, punctuation and writing. This becomes useful when children start writing their own conversations, stories, dialogue, emails, notice, messages. So more than that, these days even in your answer sheet, you have to write the answer about the chapter in English on your own words. So it's very helpful. For example, in a dialogue, where are you going? Asked mother. I'm going to shop, replied Ravi. Come back soon, said mother. Knowing the function of each sentence helps them naturally use exclamation and full stop correctly. Understanding the tone of communication. This is actually a very useful real life skill. Compare. Give me some water. Please give me some water. Could you please give me some water? The child gradually understands the sentence can communicate different attitudes, command, request, politeness, emotions, etc. This becomes important in speaking and writing appropriately. And when I was talking about that, I can even think about one more topic called modal verbs, which will be covered in the following sessions. Even there, you have something called as request, politeness, order, all forms where you can use can, could, and all those things. So to make them easy, learning the kinds of sentence will give you a very clear understanding. Let's sum up. Someone tells you something, you use a statement. When you want information, you ask a question. When you want someone to do something, you give an instruction or request. When you react strongly, you express emotion. So this is the complete conversation that we are going to do about, right? Either we will give a statement or we might ask a question or we have to request, sometimes instruction, and most importantly, express our emotions. So this complete thing comes easy when we are able to identify the kinds of sentences. Hope I am very clear with this session. Thank you all of you. Hope you are getting a good input from this content. See you soon from the next topic. Until then, stay tuned and bye bye.